Carissimi amici, benvenuti. My dear friends, welcome. Once again, here we are in my kitchen, Nick Stellino's family kitchen. And my mission for today is to turn your home into your favorite restaurant. And we have two wonderful dishes. We're going to start out with bean soup, but a special bean soup, sausage and pasta. Very earthy, very traditional, excellent. And then we're going to have clams, Montanara style, that is with bacon, tomato sauce, a little bit of wine, and even garlic bread. So stay tuned, because what's about to come next, oh, it's so flavorful, it's so wonderful, you definitely don't want to miss it. Ciao.
Nick Stellino's Family Kitchen is made possible by
Funding for this program is provided by Kenmore Elite Appliances. Kenmore Elite, the proud makers of ranges, cooktops, and wall ovens for family kitchens all across America.
additional funding provided by Domino Sugar. Family means everything, and family traditions are sweeter. Domino Sugar helps you create those special memories. Pure cane, sweet memories. Domino will always be your sugar. And by BJ's Wholesale Club, exclusively featuring Rosano, ethnic Italian food products. BJ's Wholesale Clubs, where value comes to life. Additional funding is provided by Larry's Markets and Maurice Lacroix Watches.
Qui siamo insieme, and here we are together for one of my favorite recipes, pasta e fagioli, bean soup with pasta. You know, this is one of the favorite recipes that my family, specifically my grandma Adele, used to make for me. So I just want to share it with you and show you how to make it, and how to make it in a way that will make you proud to serve it for your friends. Very tasty, very important recipe. We start always, first and foremost, with extra virgin olive oil. This is the one where you really want to have the nice power of the olive oil. And as the olive oil gets nice and warm, let's go and talk about some of the ingredients that we will use. Part of the sauté that will give the flavor to all of this is called the mirepoix. Mirepoix, also known in Italian as soffritto, that is a mixture of onion, mixture of carrots and celery. How to handle the onions, how to handle the carrots. Well, we chop the onions very fine. Let me show you what we're going to do with the carrots. We already peeled the carrots. We cut the bottom of it off. We cut the top of it off. And this is a technique that I particularly like, especially when you like to make fine little cuts. A cut that in French cooking is defined as brunoise. Basically, we cut it in small sticks, just like this. We put it aside. We do the same thing here. We make sure that I give you all that you need. And here we are. And this is very effective, and I like it because it makes it elegant. Now, does it give it a better flavor? No, it does not. It just makes it fancier. That means that if you are like my wife, who likes to see the nice big vegetables cut on the inside, you want to totally omit this and do a different cut, which I'll show you in just a second. So here we go. Cut it into the fine dice that we want. Now, this is the way I'm going to do it right now. But how important is this? And an alternative is to simply do the old-fashioned way. This is how my grandma used to do it. She didn't spend too much time about brunoise, soffritto. Wait, she just went in the kitchen, she cut away. This is what she does. Boom, 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 boom. Nice little rounds. They will be fantastic, and they're wonderful to actually catch with your spoon as you eat your soup. So whichever way makes you happy is the way to go. We also have some celery. Why don't we do the same thing with our celery? We cut it in a few strips, as we've done right here. And then here we go. We'll maintain the fine cut. I don't know why, but I think that the reason why I do all this fine cutting is because I like to play with a knife. It's one of those things that you get into it, and my wife tells me all the time, so I'm crazy. I cut too much. I always find the most complicated way to do it. But it's the way it goes. In there we have the olive oil nice and hot. We're going to add the garlic right now. You can hear that sizzle. Together with the garlic, the thing that I like to do right away is add some red pepper flakes. Mind you, this is a soup, so we're going to put a little bit more because we want to give it a nice spicy finish. Then, as the garlic is moving around, we stir it, let it brown a little bit, And the next thing that we're going to do, we're going to add some of the onions. Here we have the chopped onions. Stir that as well. The chopped onions want to be cooked nicely. Make sure you don't burn them. Stir them continuously. When you do this at home, reduce the heat to medium-low and let this go for a good 5 minutes. There will be a significant difference in which all of this will come together. The next thing I'm going to do is add the celery and the carrots that we have just chopped together. Well, chopped, diced. And you can see why I like this so much. It's got a nice, clean, organized fashion to it. In my opinion, it's a lot more bite-sized. You might ask yourself, well, why is it that you cut the garlic so big? Well, garlic, especially when used as a base, we like to have it big because it will brown on the outside, still stay somewhat raw on the inside at this stage. But as we braise it all throughout the sauce, when you finally have a piece of garlic that will land in your mouth, the one thing that will make you absolutely happy is the way in which it melts. It really melts almost like a candy. The next thing that I'm going to do is add some chopped rosemary. You can use anything you want, but rosemary, in my opinion, goes extremely well with this particular dish. Then I also like to put some bay leaves. At will, a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper. And the next thing that we're going to add to this whole mixture is the beans. But before I add the beans, let's talk about the beans a little bit. How we handle the beans. What have we done with this wonderful combination that is brought on by the beans? These are the beans that we're going to be using. You can use any kind of beans you want. But the one thing is you must soak them overnight, meaning you cannot take them from the package and put it immediately into the pot. It will not work. So either you soak them overnight or you do a quick soak. Quick soak is something like this. You put them into a pot, which you cover with water. Bring it to a boil. Once it reaches a boil, cook them on a boiling level for about 5 to 8 minutes. Then turn it off, let them sit for 30 minutes, and that is the quick soak technique that will allow you to do something quickly with beans without having to do something overnight. Now, obviously, we drain them of the water. We're going to add it to our wonderful base. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but I have an old-fashioned spoon right here in the hand. This is exactly what you need. Never cook with a brand new spoon. Why? There's no rules. As a matter of fact, it doesn't make any difference whatsoever in the flavor. But this reminds me of a good home-cooked meal. My grandma never had a spoon that was perfect. All the wooden spoons had more crooks in there than any country road in Italy. But for some reason, I personally was totally enamored with it. And I love the spoon, and it's a lot of fun to play with it. So anyway, you cook this for a while just to get them nice and toasted. And then we do add our liquids. And the liquids are made of chicken stock and tomato sauce. And here we go with our tomato sauce. Stir it real well, bring it to a boil, then simmer it with the cover on top of it, slightly ajar for an hour and a half. Important spot right in here. What is it? What we want to make sure of is that every 15 minutes we actually stir it, so we prevent anything from sticking to the bottom. Now, before I show you what this particular soup is supposed to look like after we cook it for an hour and a half, I want to tell you that we have already taken about 4 cups of soup and placed it into this food processor. The reason why we do this is because we want to thicken the soup. And the only way in which we can do it is to take some of the beans and some of the other ingredients, put them out about 4 cups, and then put them back into the soup to the next stage. So here we go. You could do it with all of the soup if you wanted to, but I don't like it to be so smooth, so elegant, so continental. I want it still to have some of the elegance that is the country simplicity of it. So here we go. Let me move this aside. I'm going to stir that slightly because the next addition I'm going to make is really exciting. And you can see already this, how much thicker it is, and that is the beans that we process into it. If you want to make it extremely elegant, what you could do, you could process the whole thing, but do it in batches. And be very attentive if you do it hot because a lot of steam will escape from it. But I like to have it a little bit of a country look with little pieces floating about. Next addition that we're going to make, very interesting addition. This is pasta. Spaghetti, as a matter of fact. This is the point in which I stop being perfect. As a matter of fact, the way in which we add the pasta, we simply put it right over it and you break it into whatever pieces you want. Big, small, large. I do it one way, my brother does another way, but that's exactly what we do. And you let this cook now for another 30 minutes or so until the soup thickens up even more, and the pasta is completely cooked. And to prove that point, I want to show you, see how solid the pasta is in here? By the time I show you what the other soup looks like, you'll see exactly. Let me move what I have here on the stove right now, and I will bring down the finished pot of soup. And this is what we started with. So, you ready? I'm going to show you now what it looks like once you cook it for another 30 minutes. And so we go from this particular position to this other position. So follow the fingers. You're in good company. I'm going to show you the view. And here we are. Let me show you exactly how beautiful, now how pretty that is. See, the pasta is cooked. And now nice and thick. This is wonderful for a winter day or for a late fall day when it's cold outside and you got your family around you. It's one of those family meals that are unforgettable. But we are not done. Oh no, we are not done. When you were not looking, I browned some sausage. Actually, I didn't. I already had it ready with me. But this is an interesting addition. If you're completely into something vegetarian, you don't want to do anything with meat, you don't have to do this. This is just a purely optional. But if like me, you like meat, sausage especially, this is the time to add it. So what we've done with the sausage, simply, we have browned it. Many times what I do, I barbecue it. Then the next day, when it's cold, I slice it and dice it just like this in a half moon shape. I add it to the soup. You want to put it in there until it reheats all the way through. If you're patient, I'm going to 10-15 minutes will give you exactly the consistency that you want. And it is at this point, we are now ready to serve a soup. What you need at this point is a ladle. And here we go. Put it right on the dish. And this is a soup that eats like a meal, and I can tell you that our first experience. And what I love about it is the way it looks, the way in which it smells. I love to see all the chunkiness that's right into it. It's one of these things that not only brings a lot of memories from the past, but it's one of these things that I would define as the perfect comfort food. If you want to make this even more interesting right before you serve it, it's an old Italian technique, and I'm going to show it to you right now. Always give it a little splash of extra virgin olive oil, the finest that you can possibly buy. And then a little sprinkle of cheese if you want to. Any cheese will do. I am somewhat attached to Romano cheese because it has a nice spike. So, well, there it is. Now, stay tuned because when we come back, I'm going to show you a fantastic dish that we're going to do with clams, vongole, and a little bit of bacon. And you'll see exactly what I mean. Ciao.
In some Eastern cultures, legumes are a basic dietary staple, traced back more than 20,000 years. To learn more, visit nickstellino.com.
Vongole montanare, clams in the style of the mountaineer. How is it possible? Clams are from the ocean and the sea, and the mushrooms, well, the mushrooms are from the mountains. But let me show you something that's really interesting. In this pan right here, this wonderful pan, we already browned some of the bacon. You can use pancetta. We start with some olive oil. Also, the bacon has rendered its own fat, which is going to be an essential element in the making of this recipe. I have lowered the heat somewhat. We're going to add some garlic right now. We're going to let this garlic braise wonderfully well with all of the bacon. And you will see why we're doing this. We really wanted to let it cook slowly and pick up a little bit of flavor. Browning is going to be excellent. I'm also going to add a little bit of red pepper flakes. And while this is taking place, let's take a look at the mushrooms that we have. The mushrooms we're using are quite common. We have white button mushrooms, and then we have cremini mushrooms. And cremini, by the way, are portobello, which have not yet grown. But to make this truly a wonderful dish, what we also have is porcini mushrooms. We couldn't get fresh porcini, but what we have is dry porcini. And I wanted to spend a moment to discuss with you on how to actually handle dry porcini, because a lot of people make a significant mistake, but they don't know how to do it, and they do it the wrong way. So here we go. What we have in here is dry porcini. They almost look like potato chips, and if you bite into them, they taste the same. I mean, really, really tough. In order to use them, you have to actually put them into a water bath. Only in this case, we got a little bit more tricky. We pour some very hot chicken stock into it, and we let them sit for about 30 minutes. They are now ready to be used. I'm going to pull one up so you can see how soft and tender they are. Now, before we use them, what we're going to do, we're going to drain this, and we're going to reserve the liquid because we're going to use the liquid later on for our own enjoyment. Now we're going to move to a speedier portion of the cooking process, and what I will do right now, I will increase the heat and get it nice and hot because I want to cook the mushrooms and give them a nice browning on all sides. We'll start first and foremost with the ones that we already have sliced all the way around, and even though it looks like a lot of mushroom, remember they're going to give up a lot of water and they will significantly soften up. While these mushrooms are cooking in there, let me give them a quick stir with my grandma's spoon, at least that's what I like to call it. The next thing that we're going to do, oh, I'm so sorry that you're not here to smell the aroma. This to me is wonderful. You know, my secret is this. I want to give you the chance and the opportunity to turn your home into your favorite restaurant, and I hope that I will do that for you today. Now, what we have in here are the drained porcini mushroom. I will still save the liquid in which we have drained them. And chop them real fast, and you don't need to be precise. Just a rough chop like this will do just wonderfully well. And now we're going to add them to the other mushrooms. There will be a little bit of a splatter back because of the high presence of water. Just make it much more interesting and entertaining for us. Oh yes. Now, when we're talking about flavor, when we're talking about colors coming together, this is it. I hope that you really are taking a look at the brown bacon, the way in which it's colored, the browning that the mushrooms are picking up. This is very exciting. I'm going to add a little bit of pepper and also a little bit of salt. And while this continues to cook, the next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about the clams and how to handle clams. Now, clams are very easy to find these days. Just about every supermarket has them for you, but it's important the way in which you handle them. What we do with clams, usually when we bring them home, we put into a bowl of water, just room temperature water, filled with some salt. What that does for the clams, it makes them spit out the additional sand that they might still hold in. Also, when you take clams, do not put them in a bath of ice because the ice tends to kill them and they will die that way, and you actually will destroy something wonderful. A refrigerator is fine. What I have in here is a wet towel which placed on top protects them from excessive heat and maintains them nicely for you. So this is a very effective way to do it. Now we got all of our ingredients going there. I'm going to add the clams right now, and we're going to cook this until all the clams will open up, and we're going to give it a little bit of help with some other ingredients. So here we are. Let's stir the clams around. They're all closed right now, and as they cook, they will start opening up the bivalves. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to add the two additional ingredients which are essential to the making of this dish. The clams have within themselves, trapped within the valves, quite a bit of flavor. And that flavor is in the form of their own juices, which they will release into the broth that we're about to make. But in order to convince them to move on to the next level, the next thing that we need to do is to almost make them happy. And the way in which we can make them happy is through the addition of some fine wine. White wine, in this particular case, is the best thing that you can do for them. And here we are, stirring them about. And also, a little another addition that I like that makes this dish even more interesting is a touch of tomato sauce. And together with that, a little bit of clam juice. And here we are. Now we're going to stir this about, and we're going to cook these clams until all of them have opened. All right. Most of our clams have finally started to open up. You have to be patient. You want to look through, stir them about to make sure that the sauce and the juice goes perfectly everywhere else. And then start looking through and see which one of those have not opened up. If they have not opened up, these clams are not fit to be eaten. That means that the clam is dead and will not be good for you. So what we're going to do is look through. I see this single piece over here. I keep looking around attentively. So Those that have not opened up are not good. We got a wonderful batch of clams. Just about everything is opened up, and this is as close as perfect as they come. This one hasn't yet, and we'll let this one go too. Oh, this is beautiful. And I love the small clams. And one of the things that I love about clams is how to actually eat them. I enjoy sucking them right out of the shell and then dip my bread in there. As a matter of fact, let's talk about bread. Because one great accompaniment to this particular dish is garlic bread. And how's garlic bread made? It's the easiest thing you've ever heard of. I'm going to let this finish cooking in there. Let me bring here the secret of garlic bread. This is toast. What we've done, this is day-old bread. We have sliced it. We have put it into the oven to toast up slightly. Also, what you can do is to actually put it in the oven in very low temperature, brush it with some light olive oil, and let it sit, I would say, for about an hour and 45 minutes. And when I say low temperature, I mean 150 degrees or even lower than that. And then the bread dries out. What we do next, and this is the most important part, is that let me move this aside, and I'm going to put a piece of bread here on the board because I want you to see. What we have here in our hand, my hand actually, is a piece of garlic, raw. And I'm going to rub it over the piece of bread. And you can see right away the sheen that's left behind right here. This is the juice of the garlic which is penetrating the bread. This is going to be the most powerful garlic bread you've ever had. I like my bread also to be toasted because I use it almost a palette. By the time I inject it inside the juices that are left, it becomes soft again. And as it becomes soft, the mixing of the flavoring, the garlic in the bread and the flavoring from the juices that are right now here in a wonderful clam dish make an incredible combination. Let's get this put aside and let's start actually serving this dish by plating it properly as it should be. And here we are. Put this wonderful thing right here, and I'll turn off the heat. And here we are. Ladies and gentlemen. Now, using a slotted spoon, the first thing that I like to do is to take clams and put them right in here. Oh, yes. Put them all over. Let me tell you, this is the kind of thing that you bring to the table. Everybody's going to be around you, smelling the aroma, saying to themselves, this is so incredible. What did you do? How did you do? I never had clams that made so much of an aroma. And then the best part is yet to come, and that comes right now. Get ready because I'm going to do a next Stellino, and that is I'm going to tempt you with the most incredible. Guarda. This is gold, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we call gold. And I tell you this right now. You bring this to the table. You serve an extra serving of the garlic bread on the side. You look at it. You say, one last touch of parsley. And it is perfect. And there it is. Dear friends, join us next time and we'll present to you more recipes that will make your house your favorite restaurant. As for me, from my heart to your kitchen, arrivederci e grazie. Ciao.
To learn more, visit nickstellino.com.
Carissimi amici, benvenuti. My dear friends, welcome. Once again, we are at the end of our time together. But what a wonderful time that was. And my promise to you, I hope I fulfilled it, to turn your home into your favorite restaurant. This, as of today, is my favorite dish. Clams montanare. And you know, there's quite an ability that it takes to make something from the sea and something from the mountain, just like the mushrooms. The mix with the porcini mushrooms, with the garlic, with the bacon is really a unique combination. But what is that I love most about this dish? Is it the way in which the clams do taste? I think so, but there is something to be said about something even more special, and that is the sauce right here. You dip your bread, you say goodbye to your friends because the next thing coming, well, that is a slice of paradise. Ciao a tutti.
Nick Stellino's Dine-In Cookbook, including a DVD of favorite recipes, is available for $29.95, plus shipping and handling. To order, please call 1-800-937-5387. Nick Stellino's Family Kitchen is made possible by
Funding for this program is provided by Kenmore Elite Appliances. Kenmore Elite, the proud makers of ranges, cooktops, and wall ovens for family kitchens all across America.
additional funding provided by Domino Sugar. Family means everything, and family traditions are sweeter. Domino Sugar helps you create those special memories. Pure cane, sweet memories. Domino will always be your sugar. And by BJ's Wholesale Club, exclusively featuring Rosano, ethnic Italian food products. BJ's Wholesale Clubs, where value comes to life. Additional funding is provided by Larry's Markets and Maurice Lacroix Watches.